And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another episode of the Talkin' NASCAR podcast. This is episode number 65. As you can tell, I am alone today. Hitmaster couldn't make it for this week's episode, but he should be back for next week. No problems there. So you just get a lot of me this week. And we got a lot to talk about this week. Obviously, the duels are in the books now, and we'll talk about that as well, and it should be all good. I'm just pulling up our notes and everything. But the duels are in the books. It was pretty exciting, so we got a lot to go over. Who missed the Daytona 500, who's in, kind of like some projections that we get for how cars were going during the races, who won them, that kind of stuff. We got a little bit of silly season news as well. Not a whole lot of stuff. But I did go antiquing, and I got a bunch of cool stuff antiquing recently that I'm going to show off on this week's episode. And it'll be good. So, should be all set. Yeah, I'm just checking on any news. Nope, doesn't look like any new news. So, what I already got. So, but anyways, we're going to talk about that later. And then at the end, we'll preview this weekend's action as well. So back into that kind of swing of things. So let's jump right into it, shall we? Let's talk about the duels first. Duel number 1 happened. Set the inside lane for the Daytona 500. Each race had 21 cars in it, which I think is a good amount for the duel race. There were some pit issues, though. Tyler Reddick decided to be a little bit stupid getting onto pit road. Almost caused a big accident, but some good saves by a lot of drivers there to keep everything going. There was a synchronized spin between Jimmy Johnson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and I think Austin Dillon was the other one that was in it. It was very satisfying to watch that spin happen. Because it's just like, it's like the figure skate music. And you spin around. But that was the only caution of the race. But it set up a pretty tight finish because Jimmy Johnson was fighting with J.J. Garry for the transfer spot into the Daytona 500. Those two were fighting it out. Especially with Anthony Alfredo being pretty much a non-contender, but he got in on speed, so it didn't really matter. It set up a pretty tight finish with Jimmy Johnson being involved in the incident, but thanks to a questionable move by Garry at the end of the race to jump out of the draft, Johnson was able to pass and was able to get in just barely to qualify for the Daytona 500. And as far as the race itself, Tyler Reddick was able to get the win, rebounding from that nearly big accident that happened to get the win in a very, very, very exciting finish. I really thought they were going to pile it all up, getting to the finish there. And none of that happened. They raced cleanly, as cleanly as you can go without wrecking, I guess. And it turned out to be a very exciting finish and a really good race. And then in duel number 2, it was kind of the same. We didn't have as many pit problems, but the big one struck late, collecting mainly Ryan Blaney and a bunch of other drivers. I think 11 cars were involved in total. Remember, there's only 21 cars in the race. That's a lot of drivers in the field. But it was another huge hit for Ryan Blaney. Took head on into the tri-oval wall. Car caught fire. It's only a few months out from his August wreck at Daytona, right before the playoffs began. That's 2 really hard hits. This hit was not necessarily as hard as that hit, but it had the fire and everything. He seemed okay, which is good. But he was not happy after that happened. A few other cars were collected too. But that also set up a pretty late finish. And the Duel 2, the transfer spots were between Kaz Grala and BJ McLeod. Those are the 2 drivers that were trying to get into the race. And it looked like most of the race, McLeod had it going. He looked like he was going to comfortably get in. He was not only way ahead of Grala, but he was like contending for the win. He got caught up in that late wreck, which caused him to get some damage, but he was able to come back and almost made a huge comeback to win. I think Bubba Wallace tried to make a stupid block, and that kind of killed his momentum and allowed Kazgrala to get in, which I think was kind of stupid, but still a valiant effort on McLeod's part to try and at least make the race, which was good there too. So, but Kazgrala got in along with Jimmy Johnson, and J.G. Yaley and B.J. McLeod missed out on the race. David Reagan was in on time, even though he was one of the so-called bubble drivers. He got in on time via the regular qualifying, so that's pretty cool. Also for the front row, I guess I'll talk about that a little bit too. It's been a Hendrick-dominated thing for years now, but 2 Fords actually got the front row. Joey Logano got the pole, and Michael McDowell got second, which is interesting front row. Should be fun to see. But what are my takeaways from the duels? Because it's a really good chance to gauge how drivers are going to race in the 500, who's going to be like a contender, that kind of thing. As far as Duel 1, I thought a lot of the contenders came out of the Toyota camp. Didn't really see a lot of strength out of the Fords for the most part. Jimmy Johnson was actually running really well until his accident. He was up in the top 5 contending for the lead too. And we had like Corey LaJoie was running really good. But Reddick ended up getting the win. But there were a lot of other drivers that I thought ran some really good races. In duel number 2, I think was the more surprising one. We saw Riley Herbst lead quite a few laps actually and run up at the front of the field, which was very, very impressive. Like I said, BJ McLeod was running really well, but he's out of the race. He's not going to be in it this year, so don't have to worry about that. But then Toyotas came and took the win with Christopher Bell getting the win while everything happened behind him, making a late pass for the win with Denny Hamlin in tow and everything like that. So that was good. Almost had a Harrison Burton win. That would have been pretty crazy. But Austin Cindric got in, was running pretty front a little bit as well. So it was good. I think some drivers held back. They tried to make the duels more interesting by introducing it as a points race now. But I think like Logano kind of played it safe. So did some of the other drivers that were, they knew they were in the race. They didn't want to tear up their race cars. There's going to be a lot of drivers going to the back on Sunday. Like I said, Ryan Blaney is going to be going to the back. I think Riley Herbst is probably going to go to the back. Justin Haley is going to go to the back. He got in that accident with the synchronized spin in Duel 1. So there's going to be a lot of drivers jumping to the back. And I liked Ryan Blaney in this race. I thought he was going to be one of the contenders to win until the wreck. So he could be a threat if his backup cars is as good as the main car. And what we usually see with these is when some drivers in the backup car, they will play it safe near the beginning, but they'll show up near the end. They'll have the speed that they had with the original car. They're not going to have as much of it, but they'll find it at some point near the end of the race. So we'll see how that goes, but it was definitely a great environment, great thing, for sure. So we saw some stuff in the Trackhouse cars too. I like those. Not really much out of Stuart Haas. Noah Gragson was okay in his first actual race, I guess, unofficial first race with the 10 car. Josh Berry wasn't doing a whole lot in the 4. So we'll see how they do on Sunday with the full field. It should be good. So, but I thought overall, I thought these were some of the more exciting duel races that we've seen in a long time. Usually the duels, they've been all right, but since the field has been like downsizing and everybody's been locked in, there's no real sense of urgency. But I think with them introducing points, it's really helped make them more exciting. You can argue that, maybe, it's not okay to have this so exciting because it's just a qualifying race, shouldn't have points, that kind of thing. But I think it helps spice it up and get to really see the contenders going into the Daytona 500, and people can make adjustments based on that. So I like that. It's going to be good. So I thought these were really good races, really good finishes, a lot of good stuff to see there. So. But as far as the New Year's Eve Spectacular goes, both Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell are now locked into the event. They are the 9th and 10th drivers to get in. So we have 10 now total locked in, and that's 10 before even the Daytona 500. So that is really good. And 7 past winners, and now Denny Hamlin won the Clash. and Reddick and Bell won the Duels. So, good start to the season for Toyota as well, with 3 trophies already under their name. So, they're riding high going to the 500, but don't count out the other 2 manufacturers. I think they'll put up a fight. I think the Fords lagged back. I don't think a lot of them really showed their stuff, at least until the end of the second race. And I guess Ryan Blaney did too, but the Chevys look pretty good too. They just got to get better with pit stuff and everything like that. So, but that is my thoughts on the Duels. So close the book on that. Yeah. We only have a couple of silly season stuff. Really, I mean, there's not a lot, obviously, for what am I trying to say? For, this time of the season, we're going into the season, all the stuff's already happened, that kind of thing. We do have a couple of things. Eric Peterson was recently named the new track president of Iowa Speedway. Of course, that's going to the Cup Series this year. Woo, yeah, baby! So it should be good. He's the new track president. Hopefully get things going well there. And then Jimmy Johnson, we talked about him with the dual race, but he's also going to be joining the Extreme E Tour along with Travis Pastrana. That Travis Pastrana, yes. Weird decision. It's a dirt racing league. I never took Jimmy Johnson as a big dirt racer. But if you could do it, you do it. He's going to have his fun. So, it's probably more for fun. See, he's semi-retired still. But, never hurts to expand your horizons, kind of thing. Definitely like that. And that, guys, is all the news. There was some sponsorship stuff, but it was all pretty minor. I didn't include it. That kind of stuff. Speaking of sponsors, the Chili's car looked great. Chili's car looked cool. Dollar General car looked good under the lights, too. I really like that. I think they ran that at the Clash, too. But yeah, that's really all I had for news. But I did get some cool NASCAR stuff while antiquing. So in total, I've got 6 items I'm going to show off here. 4 die casts and 2 other things. So we're going to start with the die cast first. I got 1 124 die cast and I got 3 164. Uncharacteristic as hell for me, but you're going to see why in just a second. We'll start with the 124 first. Now, this diecast review, at the time of recording this, I haven't recorded the diecast review for this yet, but I will. It will come out probably in a few days. Aiming for probably Tuesday, because I want a game review to come out Sunday. Then we got the Portal thing on Monday, so Tuesday is probably when I have it come out. Saturday's taken too. Anyway, but it is. You get to sneak peek early if you watch the podcast. It is. That's right. Another thing to my Kmart shrine. This is Darrell Waltrip's 500 Big K car from 2000. This was Darrell Waltrip's last full-time season in the Cup Series before he retired. And this is one of his paint schemes. So they had another one of these for sale, just the diecast for 20. I got this for 10. Obviously, you could say the box is not in great shape. And I haven't actually opened this yet, so we're going to get a good first impression on how that's going to work. But yeah, it's a Kmart item. Another thing for my Kmart shrine. It was not the only Kmart thing that I got either, or the only defunct retail thing I got either, so you can stay tuned for that. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's from the 66. There is a cool little thing on the side here. Not this side, the side I'm looking at. We're going to read it right now. Congratulations, you are one of a select group of people who now proudly own a piece of racing history. This highly collectible 124 scale NASCAR 500 diecast will not be sold in stores, at track, or any other primary retail channels. So you can be assured of its collectability. This paint scheme is unique because it was only ran once. On February 13th, 2000, at the first NASCAR Winston Cup sanctioned event of the new millennium. Designed by Joe Schofield, this historic paint scheme commemorates not only the exciting NASCAR 500 at Big Kmart, but also symbolizes the start of 3-time NASCAR Winston Cup champion Darrell Waltrip's final year in NASCAR as a driver. Congratulations, and remember Big Kmart, where NASCAR fans race for savings. Not anymore, they don't. Unless you live in the East Coast and there's like 2 left or something. Or live in Australia, there's a bunch left there. I think there's a couple like left in Europe or something as well. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't remember what I was going to say otherwise. But I had something else I was going to say after that. But I don't know where it was sold then. Why? Where was it sold? Anyway, you can read it yourself if you want. Pause the video and read it. Anyway, here we go. We're going to open it up. Hopefully it's in good shape. This antique, actually I just remembered what I was going to say. This antique store had a lot of like really niche drivers. I saw Todd Bodine, Casey Atwood, Ken Schrader, saw just a bunch of just smaller drivers. A lot of them wanted to pick up, but I didn't. Obviously Darrell Waltrip is not a tiny driver, but for 2000 he was, because he wasn't that good. Alright, we'll pull that out. Let's see. Oh. Flip that around. Aha! Oh, it's in like a plastic... Oh, shit. Okay. It was in this like plastic coating. I've never seen that. But it pulled right off. And then, yeah, here it is. Oh, it didn't have screws on it or nothing, but here it is. Darrell Waltrip. His last Daytona 500. It's definitely a cheaper made diecast. The hood doesn't open. The wheels don't turn. You can see. But it still looks really good. It's in great condition. I love the big Kmart thing on the side. I mean, it's got a nice glisten to it. You got bluelight.com for their blue light special that they used to have. Collect and win. It's a great looking car from Darrell Waltrip's last Daytona 500. That he raced, at least. I mean, he called a bunch more after he was done racing, but it's a cool looking car, I'm not gonna lie. I like the color scheme, the blue and purple. Signifies more of a prime time look, and they didn't run it in prime time as the Daytona 500, so they ran it during the day. That was the, you guys remember the 2000 race? That was the one that Johnny Benson almost won, but he was hunted down by the Ford camp, and Dale Jarrett would end up winning that race. So cool little paint scheme though, and it'll be a cool little thing for my Kmart shrine. I'll show you the next one here in a second. The other thing I got to my shrine while here. And if you guys were wondering if this was authentic or not, let me close up the box. There we go. Yeah, it is certified. Certified collectible, baby. There you go. That's cool. Yeah, I saw another one of these for 20, but it didn't have the box. This one's cool. So we'll put you back there for now. We'll get to the 164s now. We'll get to the other Kmart thing real quick, and then we'll do the other two. Alrighty. There we go. I normally don't collect 164s anymore. I used to exclusively collect them. I like to collect the 124s because I think they're usually in better detail. And these were like one was $4. One was $5, and one was $3. So in total, I got these for whatever, $12. I got that one for 10. Just a steal, by the way. So anyway, the first one up again is another Kmart shrine. This one is Jimmy Spencer's 2001 ride. Oh, and the glare is terrible. The glare is terrible. You can still see it. The hood's open. It wasn't open when I... Can I pull this off? I don't know. The hood wasn't open when I... Oh, it's like locked in by bobby pins on the bottom. Oh, that's weird. I don't know. It wasn't like open when I got it. I think it just flipped it upside down and it was open. But yeah, here it is. I'm not going to take it out of the box. Because I don't want to mess it up or anything like that. If you guys are wondering if I'm going to ever do 164 diecast reviews, I'm not. I'm not. I'm going to keep this in the box. Not going to do a video on it. So it's going to be a podcast exclusive. So there you go. Just going to take the sticker off. But yeah, this one was a primary paint scheme for Jimmy Spencer during the 2001 season, which was a forgettable one for Jimmy. His only notorious moment being late in the season at Phoenix when he got into his first of many skirmishes with Kurt Busch. So, the sticker's being an ass and doesn't come off well. So, we'll probably worry about it later. I'm just going to get one more pull at it. We'll be good to go. So, but I would have gotten the 124 version instead, but they didn't have it at any of the booths, so it was a pretty easy no-brainer pickup for me. I'm not like a huge Jimmy Spencer fan, but I am a huge Kmart Shrine fan. It's another cool addition there. So we'll put you on top of the other Kmart car. All right. Now this next one I also picked up. This was a yeah, here it is. Boom, baby. Casey Atwood 19 card. Another terrible glare, by the way. This is promoting Ultimate Spider-Man. Boom. Cool, isn't it? Now look at this. Look at the cool like engraved thing on the plastic. You can't read that shit quality. But it says Casey Atwood on there from 2001 when he had a really big opportunity with Evernham and then blew it because he wasn't that good. And because he wasn't that good, his diecasts are pretty hard to come by. I've seen a lot of the 27 Castrol GTX ones from like 2000 or 1999, but I never picked them up because just never needed to. They were a little pricey. This was a good buy, I think, at least. It's a cool looking car. Like the Spider-Man paint scheme on it. Again, I'm not going to open it or do a review on it or anything. But it is cool looking. It says not suitable for individuals under 21 years of age. I've been collecting 164 diecasts since I was 4. They were pretty suitable for me too. So 2001, man, you gotta love it. But yeah, the box is in really good shape as well. It's got a cool like Spider-Man like logo thing around it. It's a really nice looking car. Really nice looking box too. So that'll be cool. We'll put that next to the Kmart Shrine. Part of it at least. Alright. Now this last one. So a little bit of back history before I talk about this last one that I got. So in 2022, if you guys watched the Mason Antique vlog that we did in 2022, me and Jeffofthemellows, we were in there and I saw this bin full of 164 diecasts, and it was like a bunch of them had Toys R Us on them. And for some reason, I didn't pick up any of them, even though they weren't that badly priced. I didn't have a job at the time, so that's probably why I was a little more conscious with my money. But I really kicked myself in the ass for it, and we went back to that same place a few weeks ago now, closer to a month now, I guess. But and I was really hoping to look for one, and I couldn't find them. They were all gone. That really pissed me off, and I was super mad at myself that I didn't get it the first time, and I missed my chance. What was I thinking? I was stupid. But we were at this other place, right? And it had this wall of 164 diecasts, just a wall of them, all these hanging up there. And one of them had it. Boom! Yeah, baby! It's from 1998. Toys R Us car. Well, it's not Toys R Us, but it's Toys R Us. It's from Toys R Us. 50 years at NASCAR commemorative series. It's a Matt Kenseth car, even though this is 1998, so it must be the Busch series. Unless he ran like specific dates and maybe a part-time schedule. It's got a cool like collector card on it. It's got the Toys R Us logo on it. Look at that. Oh, it's so beautiful. Yes. I love it. I love it. This is what I was looking for. It's in gold too. It's really good. So I like that. Really cool. I really liked it. Oh yeah. This is good. This is definitely staying in the box. I know Toys R Us also isn't like all the way gone. They reopened a couple of US locations and they have a bunch of international ones, but God knows when I'm ever going to make it out to Mall of America or New Jersey as a whole. So this will have to settle for now. God, I miss Toys R Us. Won't get a lot of them, so we'll put that over there. Alright, I got a couple other things though. This next one I actually got not the last time we went antiquing, but the time before, and I just forgot to show it off on a podcast episode. So I thought I'd wait till now and group it in. Alright, let's see here. It is this, ladies and gents. It's a cool sign that I got. It just says NASCAR Racing, the cool logo from like the late 90s, early 2000s. It's in the thing. I mean, I'll take it out. Oh, it's like stuck on there. There we go. It's got like a film on it or something. I don't know. It's pretty cool. This is like a cool man cave piece or like a piece to put in the garage, up on the garage wall. It's really cool. And, I don't have a place for it yet, but I will have a place for it. It was only like $10, so how could I pass up that opportunity to purchase this thing? It's a cool little sign to keep on a wall. So, see if I can get back in the bag. There we go. Something was stuck on it. Now we're good. Alright, we'll put that up there. Now this last thing is a little bit crazier. Got this not on the very last time I did it. So I'll just show it off. Give me a second. Oh no. Say hello to Kraft. Can't even fit on the screen. We'll make him do a little bit of sit bent there. Oh yeah. Oh shit. I'll move this lamp over. Boom. Camera quality's terrible, but here it is. It was $15 right here, people. Kraft Racing, and the cardboard's a little bent. It's a little faded. It got folded because this thing's fucking massive. Okay, it's gonna hit my ceiling, so you can't even fit on the camera while me barely bending it. But it's cool. It's a Dale Jr. sign from his days in the Busch series. It's got Chance 2 on the bottom here. You guys can't see that, but well, I guess you can see it here. And it's got a cool little thing. This was definitely in the store because it had this. I don't know what store this was from. Like, Kraft products are sold everywhere, so I don't know. Maybe around here, maybe not. But I don't know. If you want to try and go to craftfoods.com, you can enter the sweepstakes. There you go. This thing's fucking massive, though. I mean, look at compared to... I actually am about as tall as it, but I gotta go up to here on it. But I don't even know where I'm gonna put this thing. Now, you might be wondering why I got it folded, because I've seen other things, like other NASCAR, like cardboard cutouts that have been, like, folded, right? And, like, I got them folded, and then... like they're like very flimsy and about to break. This isn't the case though. This is a very still strong, even though it was folded, so that's why I got it. Also because it's Dale Jr. And it's really cool. So these things are retailing for like $25 on eBay, and that's without this part. So that's really good. I got this for $15. I liked it. So, but yeah, that's all the cool NASCAR stuff I got though. Didn't really get much else, but I mean, there's a lot of other cool stuff that I wanted to get, obviously, but you know, I gotta watch my money. You know, in total, this all cost like $50 or something like that, which is not terrible. Maybe a little less than that. I don't remember exactly, but alas, there's my NASCAR stuff. We'll leave Dale Jr. there on the screen for the rest of this episode. Then I'm gonna put him back in my room along with all the other stuff. Anyway, alas, that's all I had though for the episode. So nothing else I can really think of to talk about other than previewing this weekend's action at Daytona. So actually tonight, 7:30, so about 4 hours from now, we got the Truck Series coming on for their first race of the season. There's a lot of new drivers in that series. Should be really, really good. Who do I think is going to win? Is a toss-up. Pretty big questions for that one. Because with the truck race, right, for the Daytona, it's always just like a crapshoot. It's always just a lot of big wrecks, flips, that kind of stuff. So it's not necessarily easy to pick one. There's almost always an upset winner. But I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to pick Chase Purdy. If he's even racing. Maybe I should pick somebody else. Grant Enfinger. I'll pick Grant Enfinger. He's got a new team this year. Looking to continue his championship run. We'll actually pick Grant Enfinger. That's a good pick. So. And then the Xfinity race. Now, the Xfinity and Cup race are actually in jeopardy this weekend because of weather. A lot of rain supposed to hit Saturday and Sunday. So we'll see if they actually happen on their scheduled time. But the Xfinity is supposed to kick off at 5 tomorrow, Saturday. Who do I think is going to win that race? I'm going to pick Justin Allgaier to win. Just because I think I got a good feeling about that one. I don't know. That one will be a pretty crazy race, I think, too. Won't be as crazy as the trucks, in my opinion. But I think it'll be pretty crazy still. So, and then the Cup race. The Daytona 500. From all that I can analyze through the duels, and from all of our preseason predictions, there's no chips today because Hitmaster's not here, but hopefully those come back next week. You know, who am I really going to pick? Because it's toss up, you know. I mean, some of the Chevys look good, like Larson and Chase Elliott. Some of the Fords look good, like Blaney, who's now going to a backup car. Some of the Toyotas look good. I mean, they swept the duels, so you'd obviously be a popular pick to take a Toyota driver. So who do you think is going to win the race? For the Daytona 500, I like to take underdogs because, I mean, look at some of the drivers that have won the Daytona 500. I think let's go last three. Michael McDowell, Austin Cindric, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Michael McDowell has won 2 Cup races. That was one of them. Austin Cindric has only won 1 Cup race. That was it. And Ricky Stenhouse only has 3 Cup wins. That was one of them. Okay? So, you know, you always got to pick an underdog. But who do I pick this year? Well, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to go off of what I saw in his dual race. And I'm going to pick Riley Herbst to win the Daytona 500. It's an underdog. Unlikely hero. He's got the talent. He's just young. What is he going to do? Will he win? That's going to be my choice for the Daytona 500, though. It's looking like a more and more good of a pick the more that I think about it. So, just hopefully his dual wreck didn't take out a lot of his good in the car. So, alas, though, that's what I got for today. For this week. Hopefully next week Hitmaster is back. We can recap the events at Daytona, talk about some cool news stuff, and preview week 2's action too. So it should be really good there. But until then, what are your picks to win the Daytona 500? Let us know in the comment section down below. And if you want to be a guest on the Talking NASCAR podcast, all you got to do is go join the Pringles and Company Discord, link in the description down below. Request the Talking NASCAR role, and then work it out with me and Hitmaster. We will get you on for an episode. Should be all good there. So, anyways, that's going to do it, though, for this episode and this video. So stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more stuff from me and Hitmaster. Go check him out as well. Me and Dale Jr., though, we will see you guys next week. Goodbye.